So I've decided to do a podcast. The reason being, I'm always hearing about people moaning and complaining and just going on with themselves about things that they've got no control over. And now I'm hearing people complaining and griping and sulking and crying over things they do have control over. Now, I don't know about some of you, but I don't see the point. Because life's short. You have to work 8 hours a day. You've got to sleep 8 hours a day. You've got to travel to and from work for another hour each, maybe a day. It don't leave you much time for free time. So I don't really see the point of losing your rag over, well, practically anything. So, a lot of people need to calm down a little bit. And yesterday, take this for example, I was up early. I travelled 3 hours to get to where I needed to be for my work. I did the work. I should have finished at, say, 5 o'clock on a Friday, but I didn't. I ended up finishing at 20 past 7, and it took another 2.5 hours to get back because the traffic was lighter. Did I complain? No, because it had to be done. I need to work to pay me bills. That's the way it is. All right? So I decide every now and again to just venture onto Facebook, and the main reason I want to venture on it is because when I do have them moments where I'm feeling a little bit low or a little bit down or tired because I'm not sleeping, I'll nip on there and I'll just read about some of the people on there that I've got on my newsfeed. And a few of them are there for comical value, and quite a lot of them are there to make me feel better because the sulking they do, come on, it's just not worth it, is it? So something else that happened yesterday is some guy called Donald John Trump. He became president of America, and it has sent some people crazy. Personally, I think it's a good choice. And let me tell you why before you start going ballistic at your computers or wherever you're listening to this and start calling me all the names, which I'm sure you will because, that's the thing that virgins and feminists like to do. So you've got to look at the options, haven't you? You had Donald Trump and you had Hillary Clinton. Now, Hillary Clinton got wrapped up in a load of this email scandal nonsense where she decided not to use government emails, which you're meant to do for government jobs, and use her personal email account. It doesn't say much for the hierarchy there because they'd be like, oh, Hillary, we've sent you an email and it says it's not set up yet. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I'm using my own from my bathroom in my house that I've got my own personal server on, Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound weird, Hillary. It's all right. You just carry on, love. Bonkers. And she gets hundreds of thousands of dollars just to do a quick 20-minute, 40-minute, 1 hour speech. Now, that's a lot of money. I've been to speeches where people have paid for them, and I know they haven't spent that kind of money for guests. So who are these companies who are doing it? Oh, the banks. Oh, the private sector companies. Oh, okay. So they're buying their way into her back pocket. So when she was meant to get in, they had like a fast track to get the first in line for contracts, etc. And to me, that's dodgy as hell because she is the epitome of a politician. She's corrupt. She's dodgy. All right. I mean, you've just got to see what happened with England and Brexit and all of this. It's all the politicians are super, super dodgy, and people have enough. The rich people don't because it's like, oh yeah, the rich politicians look after us, so we don't care. But the people on the lower end of the scale, where they keep getting trodden on and they keep getting stepped on and they keep getting overlooked, and then they start getting prosecuted or persecuted, should I say, because of bedroom tax. It's like, oh yeah, people who can't afford their own house, let's just, make sure they don't live in a house with a spare room because we know they can't afford it, and throw them into some flats. So people who can afford it have got somewhere to live, even though they've got a choice of lots of other places. There's no social housing as it is being built, and it's a joke. So when people start fighting back, when the voice of the unheard or whatever it is, they start coming back. And I just don't understand why people have such a problem with that. I mean, I know obviously rich people and posh people sulk all the time when how dare the peasants raise their voice, but it's a bit tough. So I can kind of get why America ended up voting in Donald Trump. Now, I don't know if you've seen that video of that woman when they're sort of doing that inauguration speech, and she's on her knees and she's got her hands in the air and she's just screaming. She's just, no. Who's going to... What's that for? Yeah, all right. We know these people upset. But you know what, love? It's democracy. You voted for Hillary Clinton or whoever you voted for. But guess what? More people voted for Donald Trump. That is democracy. The amount of people who voted for Hillary Clinton did not match the numbers that voted for Donald Trump. There was more for Donald Trump. Therefore, he won. Democracy. That is it. So... get off your knees and get behind it. You can't just forever moan about it, can you? I mean, you can, because you probably will, because, you've gone viral now, screaming into the air, and no one could really hear you because, there was like 20,000 odd security guards or whatever, knocking about the place, and hundreds of thousands of people all over the country loving the fact that he's president. But there you were on your knees, screaming, probably come from North Carolina or something. What's that going to do for you? Nothing. What it is to me is it's like, like Brexit. There was a lot of people having a good sulk about that. And it's like, right, all right, we're either staying in the EU or we are leaving the EU. They are their only choices. We're not having any more. All right. Right, we've got 10 people who are going to vote for this. 6 people voted to leave. 4 people decided to stay. So you go with the majority. Again, democracy. Now, when it happens, usually, but it's in the rich camp favour or, the private sector favour, everyone else just gets on with it. It's like, oh, for God's sake, we lost. Oh, well, here's another 4 years of austerity and nonsense. But when it happens in the reverse, all the posh people, they start sulking and they start spitting the dummy out and they're like, well, I didn't vote for it. He's not my president. So, yeah, I'm just going to make my own rules up. No, you were clearly a kid that wasn't used to being told no. It was like, no, sorry, Sally, you're not having that lollipop. Oh, no, June, she's crying again. Oh, just give her the lollipop. That's who you all are. You're all kids who never learnt what no means. And you've got to understand that as many of you as there is who said no and you sulk about it, there's actually more who said yeah and are happy about it. And what you've got to remember about Donald Trump, what makes him entirely different, yeah, he's a nutcase. Yeah, he's a bit maniacal. Yeah, he's an egomaniac. But tell me you wouldn't have an ego with billions of dollars in the bank. Of course you would be. But at least he's coming in there. And if someone's like, hey, Donald, do you want to do a private sector chat? Come and have a chat with some of our workers, private. Nobody has to know about it. We'll give you £250,000 for 20 minutes of your time. But like, well, what's the point? I'm loaded. I don't need your $250,000. So what that's going to do in turn is he's not going to be swayed or bought. He's literally going to do what's best. Yeah, he'll have his own ideas like, oh yeah, let's go and bomb the world and put my face on the money. He could do whatever he wants. But there is a team. You can't just go and do whatever you want. Otherwise, Obama would have shot Guantanamo Bay when he said he was going to do it. Things aren't that simple, but at least he's not going to get bought. And he is actually, really, as weird as it sounds for a billionaire, he is a man of the people. Because he's not a man of the businesses, because they can't buy him. So he's got to do what's best for the people. But instead, people are just having a bitch and a moan and a sulk. And then I see on the internet all these people in DC today, cowards with masks over their faces, carrying an anarchy flag, smashing windows, causing problems in the streets, tipping bins over because that's so gangster. Come on. What's that going to achieve? You're not going to do that. And he's going to go, oh, do you know what? There's a group of 200 people who are really mad. I think I should step down because I didn't win fairly. And you can say what you want. Oh, yeah, Putin had this cyber online thing and it made him win. Shut up, man. What next? You know what I mean? What other excuses are you going to come up with? It doesn't work. And these idiots who are rioting, do they think that they're better because they're doing that? Do they think they're going to prove a point? Legitimate businesses down the streets and they're smashing the windows of them. So then the owner's going to have to shut up the shop until he can get it fixed up because health and safety can't allow a smashed window to just be there in case it shatters on someone. And then that person sues. So they're going to have to get that window boarded up, but they're probably going to have to keep the shop shut, which means they're going to lose revenue because they're not going to trust the shop being open with idiots on the street. And smaller businesses can't afford to do this, and they're probably going to go under. And for what? Some middle-class people covering the face, or kids of middle-class people who think they know the world and they know the streets and they know what's best because they did one term of politics at school. They're going to ruin people's careers and businesses, and that's not fair. For what? If you've got a problem, get back to school, stop smashing windows, stop being a menace to society and a piece of trash, and go and try and knock people off the top. But you can't just moan about it. I could moan about footballers, like these footballers who've gone to China, and it's like, oh yeah, £600,000 a week wages. Well, I clearly don't get that. But I'm not going to go and walk down the street and kick a bin over like these muppets are doing and going, oh, well, I didn't agree that they could go over there for 600 million or 600,000 a week wages, so I'm going to kick a bin over and smash a window. They're not going to come back and play for 200 quid a week for some low league team, are they? No, they got where they are for having, a better footballing talent than me. I don't care. I'm happy because I don't bother with all this nonsense that's going on the news. Donald Trump is in America. I'm in England. And until England and America go to war, I don't care. And to be fair, America are doing pretty well. So I don't think he's going to pop in and all of a sudden all these people who are in top ranking positions are just going to go, yeah, we'll just let him get on with it and do what he wants. You've got the House of Congress. What's that for? They're just storing archives in there if it's not being used for what the name is. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So the people who are rioting, get a grip. The people who are sulking about it, that's the way the rest of us feel when your guys always win, but we don't go out on the street and kick off about it. We get on with it. We pull our pants up, wipe our nose and keep moving forward because that's what you've got to do. And if you're taking all your time and effort to sulk, bitch, moan and cry about it, what you're doing with those few hours that you've got a day where you're not 8 hours working, you're not travelling for an hour there and an hour back, and you're not 8 hours sleeping. Those few hours and you're spending it doing this and sulking and moaning before even giving the guy a chance. Get a grip. So there you go. That's me having a little bit of my comfortably dumb thoughts on what's going on in America and the inauguration of the 45th president, Donald Trump. Until next time.